Hi, and welcome to ThreatTraq Essentials. I'm here this week with Matt Kaiser. How are you doing, Matt?
Doing all right, Don. How about yourself?
Great. Let's talk about the stories from this week's ThreatTraq. Brian told us about social media spam bots. What are they exactly, and what did this story tell us?
Sure. So social media spam bots are accounts that are set up by somebody who wants to take advantage of the connections on a social media site to push some sort of a message. And sometimes this is purely for financial gain to try and promote a product or a service. Sometimes this has to do with disinformation. But ultimately, the folks who operate these bots are trying to push information and leverage existing social connections to expand their network. And so this was a video that Brian had brought to us and talk about what sorts of things you can do to protect yourself and prevent yourself from falling prey to this sort of thing. And the question is, can you really do much about them as an individual person? The answer is probably not, but you can at least prevent yourself and your loved ones from being part of these schemes. So basically, understanding who it is that you're friends with on a social media site and not giving people who you don't really know in the real world access to your networks. And that's basically it.
And finally, we had a story about BGP hijacking, which is a technique that, in this case, was used to intercept transactions with a cryptocurrency provider.
That's right. So in this case, the provider was called ClaySwap. They were using software from a company called Kakao. I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly. But in this case, the attackers used BGP hijacking, which is a technique in which the folks who own a particular network broadcast out information to other networks saying, hey, we have a route to, in this case, Kakao Talk. You can send your traffic to us. We have the fastest route. And even if that's not true, the way that BGP works, those networks will try and send traffic through. And then all sorts of manipulation can be done while that traffic passes by.
So what happened in this particular case, and what can be done to prevent attacks like this?
What happened in this case is there's a particular file that's part of the Kakao system that's sort of, they call it the SDK, Software Development Kit. It's a little library that makes it very easy for people to write code that interacts with the service. They were tampering with requests to get that file and adding in code of their own that anytime somebody tried to use the ClaySwap system, this extra bit of code would steal information out of the cryptocurrency server. So anybody who was a customer and loaded that file would have had their wallets emptied. What can be done in the future? I mean, good question. It seems that there might have been some things that could have been done in terms of checking to see whether the certificate for the website hosting the file was in fact correct. I'm not exactly sure of the details myself on why that validation didn't occur during the BGP hijacking, but at the same time, responding quickly to any sort of BGP route shenanigans is one way of at least responding to these sorts of things. And we do have folks, well, the computer security community does have people looking out for these sorts of sudden, abrupt changes in routes in BGP to alert other folks to say, hey, these guys shouldn't have a route to this network. They're probably up to something. So there are proactive things to be done and there are reactive things to be done here.
Well, thanks for all that great insight, Matt. Thank you all for watching. To keep up with great insights like this, please like and subscribe below. And if you want to take a deeper look at any of these stories, you can click on them and watch them in their entirety. We'll see you next time.